Well, if you thought that was extreme, you won't believe this, or maybe you will because it happened on The View. This is Whoopi Goldberg. She gave a shocking claim about how black people in our country are comparing to what it's like to live in Iran.
Let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks.
It felt like a long moment, and then suddenly Kayleigh McEnany said something so surprising that Whoopi Goldberg almost fell off her chair and forgot what to say. One moment, Whoopi was making jokes on The View, and the next, Kayleigh responded, with strong facts, confidence, and her signature raised eyebrow. The whole studio went silent. No one drank coffee or whispered. Everyone was shocked. Whoopi looked like someone had just taken away her Netflix and maxed out her credit card. So, what did Kayleigh say that stopped everyone? Let's just say, it made for unforgettable TV.
Whoopi Goldberg has millions of dollars. Whoopi Goldberg's a famous actress. She's on a talk show, Kennedy, and it's time to educate Whoopi Goldberg. Let's meet Mahsa Amini. Mahsa Amini, we have her picture. She was in Iran, 22 years old. Didn't wear her hijab, so of course the morality police arrested her in Iran. She died in a re-education class in prison where she was physically abused by Iranian authorities. So apparently, this is where Whoopi would like.
What do you get when you mix a talk show host with constant complaining, selective anger, and a memory that forgets anything that doesn't fit her current outrage? You get Whoopi Goldberg, daytime TV's unofficial queen of rules for you, but not for me. She's full of contradictions, yet always gets applause.
It's all about. Either you want it to work forward thinking, you want everybody to have the ability to say how they feel, what they want, to move forward, or you don't. Or you want somebody who says, I'm going to be on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. Who says it to you, tells you, I'm going to put you people away. I'm going to take all the journalists, I'm going to take all the gay folks, I'm going to move you all around and disappear you. If that's the country you want, you know who to vote for.
Just when the audience thought things couldn't get more awkward, Kayleigh McEnany walked in ready with more proof than a CVS receipt. Whoopi, comfortable in her usual routine, didn't see it coming. After all, nothing says today's thought leader like saying one thing, then the opposite. Before the next commercial, only to be taken down by someone who actually did their homework.
Groping and electrocution of their genitals. Welcome to Iran, Whoopi Goldberg, but apparently it's harder to live in this country.
Well, it's 2025. I don't know.
You can tell Whoopi's in trouble as soon as Kayleigh walks in with her usual mix of a polite smile and a I've got the facts, and you're not ready face. It's the kind of look that makes producers nervous and publicists start planning damage control. Kayleigh didn't come for a nice chat, she came ready to knock down the shaky platform Whoopi's been standing on for years.
She would not have the privilege of being on a talk show without her hijab and talking about the Iranian regime and challenging them and criticizing them any day of the week. That is what Whoopi Goldberg experiences in the United States as a successful black woman. In fact, the laws against women especially going out and assembling in order to fight the authoritarianism in Iran, that is met with death. Like, you can receive the maximum penalty.
There she is sitting like that relative at Thanksgiving who gets her facts from emotional Facebook posts. Whoopi throws out moral opinions like she's giving out prizes. You get a lecture, everyone gets one. But Kayleigh didn't come for that. She showed up with facts, dates, and a sharp smile that said, I'm ready. As usual, Whoopi went on one of her loud, messy rants, more emotion than logic. Kayleigh didn't react. She just waited, calm and quiet, like she knew exactly when to strike. Because here's the thing.
Why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Like that outspoken aunt at Thanksgiving who gets her facts from emotional Facebook posts. She delivers dramatic opinions like she's handing out prizes. You get a lecture. But Kayleigh McEnany wasn't there for speeches. She came prepared, with facts, dates, and a calm confidence that said, "I did my homework." Whoopi started one of her usual rants full of emotion, contradictions, and not much depth. Kayleigh didn't react. She just waited, calm and steady, like a hunter letting its target tire itself out. The truth: Whoopi's views change depending on what the crowd wants. One day she's for free speech, the next she's canceling people left and right. Her arguments don't hold up, they are all over the place. Remember when Whoopi said we shouldn't judge political spouses because they didn't sign up for this? Then later, she spent an entire segment making fun of a conservative woman's outfit, beliefs, and even her existence. Kayleigh remembered, but instead of fighting back the same way, she showed a video that made the hypocrisy clear and sharp, and Whoopi's reply: she didn't defend herself. She changed the subject. One moment she was wrong, the next she was telling an unrelated story. Like a scene from Murder, she wrote. You could almost feel the rest of the panel holding their breath as she went off topic again, making it sound urgent but not very believable.
To say that bad things didn't happen previously in this country, but on Juneteenth, where we recognize the emancipation from slavery, Texas, the last state, on this particular day, and she does this the day before, she's ignorant of the facts. I want to try to be kind because my expectation for Whoopi Goldberg is...
Kayleigh stood there calm, like someone who already knew how it would end and even brought popcorn. No yelling, no eye rolls, no heavy sighs. Just a clear, well-prepared response, delivered with quiet confidence. And that's what really got to Whoopi, because if there's one thing a constant interrupter can't handle, it's someone who won't take the bait. So what actually made Whoopi lose it? Was it the facts? The timeline? The direct comparisons? Not really, it was Kayleigh's tone. That calm, polite tone that quietly says, this isn't personal. You're just completely wrong. Right on cue, Whoopi did what she always does when she's losing. She leaned back, squinted, and acted like she was the victim of some unfair attack, because how dare someone bring actual research into a conversation built on feelings, nostalgia, and the good old days when phones had cords. And let's not forget the View's unwritten rule: the loudest person wins. But this time, it didn't work. Kayleigh didn't raise her voice. She just smiled, that calm, confident smile, the one that says, I'm about to take apart your whole argument using your own words and a few facts.
This goes beyond the pale, because if you can't see where we're coming from, then you have no hope for where we can go. That's as racist as anything else I've heard.
When Whoopi realized she couldn't outshout Kayleigh, she did what longtime hosts often do: told an emotional story. Vague enough to avoid fact-checking, but dramatic enough to sound deep. She tried to use it as a powerful closing moment, but Kayleigh.com, and maybe on her third latte, broke it down in 4 clear sentences backed up with dates, and the polite but brutal line, I think your memory might be just a little off. That line hit hard. Deep down, Whoopi knows her past statements don't always hold up. And now, it was all falling apart live on air, with no co-hosts rushing in to comfort her, or say, you're so brave. It felt like a dramatic scene from a play. Joy Behar reacted as expected, mumbling about whataboutism, their go-to defense when facts show up. Sunny Hostin tried to shift the mood with a long, confusing speech that felt like it was written by AI during brunch. It didn't help. Kayleigh just waited, and then calmly gave another smart, fact-filled reply. I could teach her, handing back a test covered in red ink. That's Kayleigh's real strength. She's not just well-spoken, she's fully prepared. Her facts are solid, like they've been double-checked and stamped. She speaks like someone ready for court, a lie detector, and a Facebook argument with your aunt all at once. Every response lands with the impact of a lawyer, a spreadsheet, and a mic drop.
Research packets on The View, but they need to start.
There's no question. By the way, Harris also in the last hour on her show is really brilliant on this, about it being Juneteenth and about how black people in this country now can rise to be a great anchor, or they can be a doctor or a lawyer. And I don't know what Whoopi was talking about, but when she played Gannon on Star Trek, she actually was a bartender talking to people and meeting them where they live. She's not meeting people.
At one point, Whoopi made a desperate claim, hoping to catch Kayleigh off guard, but Kayleigh didn't even blink. She raised an eyebrow, quoted a headline from 5 years ago, and said calmly, you said that during Sweeps Week. The audience gasped. Whoopi froze. Somewhere backstage, a producer was probably Googling, can someone be too right? And the best part, Kayleigh didn't even need a dramatic one-liner. She let the silence do the work. That quiet moment, after a total fact-check knockout, it said it all. There's no need to keep going. your argument's already done. That's what made it so powerful, not mean, just precise and sharp. Kayleigh didn't show up to play along with Whoopi's usual moral drama. She came to rewrite it with facts, red ink, and receipts. The reaction? Predictable. Twitter exploded. News outlets called it contentious, which is their way of saying, we don't know how to spin this yet. The View cut to commercial so fast it felt like whiplash. One moment, Whoopi was scrambling. The next, a cat food ad was playing. But the real win wasn't just going viral. It was the quiet fear now stuck in Whoopi's teleprompter. Because once someone calmly exposes your contradictions on live TV, it sticks. From then on, every rant gets second-guessed. Every bold claim comes with a quick glance around just in case Kayleigh's about to pop up with a timestamp and proof.
It goes beyond the pale, because if you can't see where we're coming from, then you have no hope for where we can go. That's as racist as anything else I've heard.
Isn't it ironic? After years of talking about truth, responsibility, and using your platform, Whoopi got completely taken down by someone who actually lives by those words. Kayleigh didn't use drama or preachy speeches, just clear facts, delivered with a calm voice and a slight smile that said, nice try, but no. So what's the lesson? Easy. If you're going to change your story on live TV, you better hope Kayleigh McEnany isn't around, or at least lock the archives tight, because if she's in the room, she'll find the facts, organize them by date, and calmly read them back to you like a polite fact-checking machine. It's so smooth, it feels like mental judo. At this point, maybe Whoopi needs a break, some low stress like a book club where nobody looks things up. Or a solo podcast where the only interruptions are her own side stories. Because right now, Kayleigh is undefeated when it comes to exposing double standards. And Whoopi's stuck mid-sentence, confused about why the applause sign isn't helping. Meanwhile, the audience just got more excitement in 8 minutes than some shows deliver in a whole season. Who knew watching someone get held accountable could be this entertaining? Honestly, if The View wants to stay popular, maybe it's time for a new direction: less hot topics, more fact checks with Kayleigh, and a warning label for anyone with a fragile ego.
Iran just passed another law at the end of last year, making it even worse for young women and girls, where they can be put to death for this, for showing their legs, like the women on The View. It's unconscionable that she would try to make a moral equivalency here.
Yeah, how offensive. I mean, Emily, there are a lot of courageous Iranians who have stood up to the government, young women in particular, and said, no, I want freedom, and they've lost their lives because of it. I mean, does Whoopi have it?
You could feel the tension in the studio as the silence stretched. What started as just another daytime rant turned into a live lesson in self-destruction, led by someone clearly used to applause, not pushback. The panel looked uncomfortable, fidgeting with cue cards like they might find a way out written on them. The cameras kept rolling, but the mood had changed. Because there's nothing quite like realizing on air that your entire argument has fallen apart, and your only move left is to blink dramatically while cold, hard facts hang in the air like evidence in court. Everyone pretended nothing was wrong, forced smiles hiding the meltdown. But Kayleigh didn't gloat, didn't brag. She didn't need to. The silence did the job. Calm and precise. It landed harder than any snappy comeback ever could. Then came the media spin. Outlets twisted their words, calling it a lively exchange, while quietly backing away from the praise they'd given just last week. Late-night shows ignored it completely, probably hoping they wouldn't be next. But viewers remembered, and they hit replay over and over. Because today, when confusion sells, clear truth stands out, and this time, clarity won. Now, the next time someone at that table starts another grand speech, people might think twice before clapping on cue. Because somewhere, off camera, there's a Kayleigh watching, listening, and ready to calmly call it out with facts, dates, and just the right quote.